Dave Parody here with another Slide Makeover video podcast based on the ideas in my book, The Visual Slide Revolution. Today we're going to talk about infographics, and this is a very popular term and a very popular concept these days. Graphics that relate information, but it could be anything. It could be a diagram, a simple illustration that we get. But the problem with some of these is like this example. So here's our example slide, and this is a graphic that has been created for someone, and they've put it on the slide, and it looks beautiful. The challenge here is that it is a single graphic. When you talk about step 5 in my quick method and wanting to reveal it piece by piece in order to focus the audience's attention, the challenge is this is all one single graphic and we can't build it using the animation in PowerPoint. The nice thing is, though, that we actually can end up revealing portion by portion this graphic. So if you have a diagram or this type of a graphic, you can reveal it portion by portion. Let me show you what I did with this particular slide. Here's the new slide. Now we want to talk about the top global brands in the recent survey by Interbrand. Now you've all heard the headline that Coca-Cola is #1, but it's instructed to take a look at the top 10 and see how they've changed since last year. So at number 10 is Mercedes-Benz, and they're up from last year. Let's look at the rest of the top 10. In 9th position, Disney, again rising since last year. McDonald's in 8th position, rising 7% from last year. Now Intel's in 7th position, but you notice they've dropped since last year. Now that is possibly due to whatever it is, and so on. And so what I can do is I can reveal each of these individual items one by one, moving from, in this case, from the number 10 position all the way to the number 1 position. And I could make a comment about each one. We could talk about it, have a conversation as a presenter and audience. And because I'm revealing it one by one, it allows us to now have that conversation, because when you put this graphic up and any diagram up, immediately people spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. And I think these sorts of infographics are great for newspapers, printed publications, where you have time to consider and spend time interpreting the graphic. When we put it into a presentation, it becomes overwhelming because there's so much information there. We need to reveal it piece by piece so that the audience can understand it in the context we want. So before we get to some of the lessons that we can learn from today's makeover, just a reminder, if you want more information on the book, go to www.visualsliderevolution.com. For more information on my training, consulting, videos, other resources, go to www.ThinkOutsideTheSlide.com. So some of our lessons for revealing these infographics or diagrams one portion at a time. The most important thing is to figure out what order you want to explain this information. So in what order should the portions be revealed? In this case, I was revealing it from number 10 to number 1. If you had let's say a process diagram, you might want to reveal it from the start to the end of the process. So make sure you make that decision first. Now, how do I do the reveal? The idea here is that PowerPoint has layers. So everything you put on a slide is a layer. So what I did is I simply used rectangles to cover up a portion of the infographic, the diagram. And then I made it look like there wasn't actually a portion there because I simply covered it up and I used the fill color as the background color of the diagram, or you could use it as the background of the slide if there was no background to the particular infographic or diagram. And then to get the reveal to happen, I used exit animation. Normally we think of animation as appear animation, bringing something onto the slide. Well, when you have a rectangle or another shape covering up a portion of the infographic or diagram, what you can use is exit animation. You can reveal what's underneath by taking away that rectangle or shape. In my case, what I did is I used an exit animation of wiping to the left to kind of like a piece of paper that was sliding across, revealing each time. Now that's common to many people because many of us remember overhead transparencies, and we use a piece of paper to cover up a portion and then simply move it down to reveal each portion. The exact same thing is what you're doing when you use this technique in PowerPoint. And when you're presenting it, make sure that you always give context for the slide first, because when they only see a small portion of a diagram, they're not sure where you're going. So give context first so they understand you're going to build to a certain conclusion, and then reveal each portion one by one. When you're using infographics or diagrams that are provided to you as a single graphic file, use these ideas to reveal it portion by portion to keep your audience focused during your presentation. This has been Dave Parody with another Slide Makeover video podcast.